Syracuse is coming in, first ACC game, pretty darn good team. Talk about the challenge in facing them in the first ACC game.
Well, whenever you face Syracuse, there's a couple of things that you really need to understand. Their 2-3 zone is very, very different than any other zone. They play it almost the entire game unless there's some unusual circumstances. They're number 1 in the ACC and number 4 in the country in steals. Their zone is so active. They read your passes, and play the passing lanes very, very well. They're very long and athletic. Their point guard this year, Benajay, is 6'7". So that's a matchup problem. And in the zone, when you have a big guy like that at the point of your zone defense, makes it very challenging to get open looks at the top of the key, which is where you'd like to get a lot of shots. And then you switch to the other end. They're an outstanding three-point shooting team. In every game where they've made 10 or more threes, they've won. So we're going to really have to defend the three. We're going to have to really take care of the ball. We cannot turn it over and give them fast break opportunities like we did Princeton.
And obviously, your depth is pretty darn good. You sort of cruised through the first half. You had some issues here and there, but is there anything specific that you can tell the team now, this is really good to focus on improving the most? I know you worked on defense at some points and different things, but is there something now?
From a defensive standpoint, we got to continue to work at defending the three because it's such a weapon for our opponents. And it puts so much pressure on your defense if teams are making a lot of threes. The second is we need to do a better job of not turning the ball over so much. We've had a number of games where we've handled the ball very well, but in recent games we've had too many turnovers. So against this team, a team that thrives on forcing turnovers, getting steals, and scoring in transition, we've got to do a much better job of handling the ball.
Did you watch Syracuse last night?
Yes.
What did you? I thought, as a fact, my son wanted to watch football, but it was like, I don't know how big Syracuse's league was, but it looked like they were taking command there.
Yeah, they were in very good shape with 10 minutes to go in the game, but Pittsburgh is a very good team too, and at home I thought Pittsburgh's crowd really got into it and helped them overcome the deficit.
Schedule maker didn't give Syracuse any real favors playing up with Pittsburgh last night and then having.
Well, I don't think you can do anybody in this league any favors because every game is a dogfight.
Do you find it, I don't know, I would expect, you talked about their zone and how unique it is. Is there anybody else out there trying to copy that, considering how long it's been and how successful they've been, that there's not?
I think there are a lot of teams, including Princeton, that utilize some of the concepts. Was one of our concerns. Playing Princeton was to try to help us get ready for Syracuse. And in Princeton's case, they zone a lot and they force a lot of turnovers by playing passing lanes. When you think of defense, you think your man, the guy who's guarding you, should be between you and the basket. And he should be trying to stop you from shooting. In Syracuse, there's an element where I'm not really guarding you, I'm guarding your pass. So we don't think you're going to shoot this shot. They might leave you completely wide open, but they're going to try to deflect your passes or steal your passes. So you'll notice there will be certain guys on our team, they're going to leave wide open. And certain guys on the team, they're going to play really, really hard.
So is there, an emphasis on not, or a possibility of falling into the trap of taking too many threes?
Yes. And some of that has to do with you have to have balance in your offense. Oh, we average 17, 18 threes on a typical game, depending on the number of possessions there are. The other night, I think we took 15. So you have games where you shoot 15 threes, and then you might have games where you shoot 22 or 23 or 25 threes, depending on, first of all, how well you're moving the ball and how well you're finding an open man at the three-point line. Second, how good the opponent's defense is in taking away the interior. You know, you have a team like Syracuse that really extends their defense in the zone, and then you have a team like Virginia who really packs it in. Yet against both defenses, you need to make threes.
You think it's gonna be strange to look down the other end of the bench and not see Boeheim?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be watching on TV, and, you know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a great guy, and I feel bad for him that he's not able to be with his team right now.
I want to ask you, you have a lot of depth, obviously, on this team. Have you made any decisions, like somebody deserves more minutes, Kamari or something? Has anyone shown you really that the rotation maybe should change in any way, or are you pretty happy with how it's been working?
The rotation changes every game based on the opponent and performance. So if I see someone's got it going, I'm going to stick with them. If I see someone is struggling defensively to guard somebody, I'm probably going to bring somebody in who I think is a better matchup defensively.
How do you think Kamari's done so far? Has he met your expectations, sort of done what you expected him to do? Or
Yeah, so far we're undefeated with him in the starting lineup. So, you know, it's not statistics. There is one statistic that is most meaningful. That is wins and losses. If a guy is in the game and he impacts the game in such a way that you win while he's in there, then you play him a lot. And we had a player at Virginia named Kenton Edelin, who, despite the fact, I think when he graduated, he was like the leading field goal percentage shooter in the school's history, he couldn't shoot. All he did was dunk the ball, offensive rebound, lay it in. But when he was a sub, but when he was in the game, he impacted in such a way that our plus minus when he was on the court was always a plus. In Kamari's case, moving him into the starting lineup was a decision based on defense. We were not defending as well as we needed to. And it wasn't because Ivan Cruz-Uceda was not playing good defense. He was playing the best defense since he's been here. It's because Kamari is so much more athletic and he can do certain things that nobody else on our team can do. And it's proven to be true. We've moved him into the starting lineup. He guarded Siobhan Seals and played him very hard and very well. In all these games, he's been able to help Tanya guard his man. He's been able to help Sheldon on the other team's leading scorer. Because he has that speed and quickness, length, jumping ability, he's a very smart defender and he's a very dedicated defender. So you have so many good qualities in him. Plus he's shooting a nice percentage offensively and he moves the ball. I call him a transporter on offense. Those guys are the guys that make the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors great. You know, Draymond Green is a transporter. You say, well, he scores, he does everything. Yeah, but the thing he does is the ball's in his hands, it's out of his hands. I mean, he gets it to the Steph Curry and the Klay Thompson so well. You know, and with the San Antonio Spurs, you have a guy like Boris Diaw. He does it for them. They're just so good at being smart.
You had a lot of good players in your time, obviously, but have you had anybody shoot over 50% from threes when they're shooting as many threes as Ivan? I mean, he's shot 41 so far, so on pace for a lot of threes, obviously. He's saying 56%. I want to say, unless I misread that.
Yeah, we're very confident in his shot-making ability. He can really shoot. Oh, we don't like to make any judgments in mid-season about stuff like that. You just continue to try to emphasize to the team to get good shots and to find the open man. And Ivan's been the recipient of some excellent passes where guys have found him.
By the way, was that dunk off the inbounds play one of the things that you just put in?
We put it in before LaSalle. No, I think we actually put it in before College of Charleston. That was spectacular. I didn't make the ESPN top 10. How come?
I don't know. They were doing the game.
That was it. It was up along the lane. I don't recall seeing that before.
Oh, well, we've put in a couple of new out-of-bounds plays as we've come into the,
That's what you said you were going to do.
yeah.
How does the league in general help? I mean, just obviously, is it what you expect?
I am so impressed with the ACC. This is kind of what I expected when I first came into the league. But I think what's happened in the last couple of years by adding Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Notre Dame, Louisville, the depth of the conference. I mean, I legitimately think we could have 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. Actually, I'll be surprised if we don't get like 10 teams in the NCAA tournament, because I don't know who you leave out right now. When you compare our league to the other leagues, they don't have us ranked number one, and I think because we've had some questionable losses. You say, hey, how the heck did they lose that game? But overall, the quality of our victories is really strong.
I don't remember where I read it, saw it now. Somebody was predicting the league based now on what's happened in the first couple of months, and they didn't have Duke and North Carolina at the top. I think it was like Virginia, Louisville, and y'all.
Yeah, it's
kind of a surprise.
it's pretty hard to keep Carolina and Duke out of it, considering that Duke has been in the top 25 for how many consecutive weeks? Like 2 or 3 years they've been in it. Not weeks, years.
Yeah.
You know, most people are happy, hey, we got some votes in the top 25. Duke is been ranked since, Noah built the ark.